This is the Cosmopolitan Hotel in Las Vegas, and today I'm staying in its famous Wraparound Terrace Suite and trying the Wicked Spoon buffet before it may be gone for good. For the full review of the Cosmopolitan Hotel itself, check out my previous Cosmopolitan video where I covered the casino, pools, restaurants, and amenities. Since my last stay, the Cosmopolitan has also added mobile check-in and key printing kiosks, which may allow you to skip the front desk completely. After check-in, I headed upstairs to see whether this suite was really as impressive as it looked online. I originally planned to book the most basic room, but for some reason, this suite was actually less expensive than the regular room. It was $250 for the night, so of course, I had to book it. At the entrance, you're greeted with a console table and a hallway that is leading to the main living area. On the right side, there's a separate guest bathroom. And this isn't just a tiny half bath. It has a very large shower covered in beautiful iridescent tiles. These are the products that they provide. They even provide dental kits in case you forget your toothbrush. I also really like the large painting of a woman's face on the wall. As you continue throughout the hallway, you reach the main living area. The living room is spacious with plenty of seating, a small dining table, and a very nice bar area. There's a sink, love the artwork. They also provide an ice bucket with 2 glasses, and there's also a tray of snacks and other items available for purchase. Underneath, there's also a fully stocked mini bar with more drinks and snacks that you can buy. As you would expect in a Las Vegas hotel, they are not exactly bargain priced. Thankfully, right next to it, there's an empty mini fridge that you can use for your own food and drinks. There's another empty beverage refrigerator at the bar. Although the door doesn't open completely, it's a little strange, but at least you have plenty of fridge space in this room. There's also a large mirror right next to the bar so you can check yourself out before heading out. The TV in the living room area is 65 inches, but unfortunately I couldn't actually watch it because the screen kept flickering and the television would turn itself off every few seconds. Other than that, the living area is really nice. There's a lot of space, plenty of comfortable seating, and large windows that bring in a lot of natural light. The bedroom is separated from the living room and has a king-size bed. There's another smaller TV in there. Next to the bed, there's an adjustable reading light, a lamp with USB charging ports, and a remote that is supposed to control different features around the room, but unfortunately it was broken. The bed was very comfortable. There's an armchair with a small table, and when I touched one of the light switches, the entire cover fell off and landed on the floor. So far, the suite was nice, but some of the technology appeared to be holding on for dear life. The main bathroom is very large. There's an enormous walk-in shower with the same iridescent tile design that we saw in the guest bathroom. There are 2 separate sinks and a large soaking bathtub. The toilet is located inside its own separate room, which is always nice in a suite this large. Overall, the bathroom feels luxurious, spacious, and much more impressive than the average Las Vegas hotel bathroom. In the closet, you'll find your usual items like a safe and a luggage rack, but here they also give you robes and slippers. But of course, the main reason people book this suite is the terrace. The balcony wraps around the outside of the room and gives you an incredible panoramic view of the Las Vegas Strip. From my terrace, I could see the surrounding resorts and even catch a side view of the Bellagio fountains. On the terrace, you even have some patio furniture that you can enjoy. The view is impressive during the day, but at night, when all the hotels and signs light up, it becomes the real highlight of the entire suite. While the layout and the view are amazing, you can definitely see the age of the suite. There's noticeable wear and tear throughout the room. It absolutely needs an update. And of course, I had to see what the room looked like under a black light. I found a few stains on some of the living room furniture, but thankfully nothing too horrifying. There were also a few stains on the top bedding, but the rest of the bed looked fairly clean. Both bathrooms were clean, including the showers, sinks, and bathtub. The only noticeably dirty area was the wall inside the toilet room. So despite the maintenance problems and visible wear, the suite itself was actually pretty clean overall. Later that night, I decided to try one of the Cosmopolitan's most famous food spots, Secret Pizza. Secret Pizza is located down an unmarked hallway, and it has become one of those Las Vegas places that almost everyone recommends. I ordered 1 slice of mushroom pizza and 1 slice of white pizza and brought them back to the suite. The mushroom pizza was okay, but it was extremely greasy. The white pizza was even worse. It was oily, overly salty, and so greasy that I couldn't finish it. I know a lot of people say Secret Pizza is one of the best pizzas in Las Vegas, but personally, I don't understand the hype. Maybe it tastes better at 3 in the morning when you're very hungry and too drunk to notice the difference. The next morning, I went downstairs to try the Wicked Spoon buffet. I paid $50 for breakfast. These are the current prices. I recommend making a reservation online so you won't have to stand in a long line like this. I arrived around 10 a.m. so I could experience the breakfast and the brunch as well. I've eaten here at least 4 times over the years. Personally, I feel that the quality used to be a little better, but I still think Wicked Spoon is one of the better remaining buffets in Las Vegas. There have also been widespread reports that MGM plans to close its remaining Las Vegas buffets by the end of 2027, including Wicked Spoon. MGM hasn't officially confirmed a closing date, but if those reports are true, there may not be much time left to try it. The food selection isn't quite as enormous as what you'll find at the Bacchanal buffet, for example, but there's still a lot to choose from. There's an Asian station with lots of dumplings, stir fry, kimchi rice. There's also Mexican food, crab legs, lots of breakfast dishes, salads, pizza, meat, and plenty of side dishes. There's also sushi, and you can even make your own ramen. So even though it may not be the largest buffet in Las Vegas, most people should have no problem finding something they want to eat. Obviously, I had to try most of the dishes. Well, not most, but I tried a lot of them, for research purposes. If you come a little bit before brunch starts, you'll be able to try both breakfast and brunch items. My first plate was mostly Asian dumplings. Most of them were pretty good, although I really did not like the leek dumpling at all. It had a very strange flavor. Next, I tried a few of the breakfast items, including the Eggs Benedict. The egg was still runny, which is actually pretty unusual for a buffet, because Eggs Benedict can easily become overcooked while sitting under the heat lamps. I also got some of the Angry Mac and Cheese, which is one of the dishes I always enjoy here. It has a little bit of spice, but not too much, and it was just as good as I remembered. The fried chicken was also good, it was crispy, and the seasoning had a lot of flavor. I tried a few of the salads as well, and Wicked Spoon continues to have some of the best salad dressings I've found at a buffet. The salmon was surprisingly good and wasn't dry, which can be difficult to avoid at a buffet. The meat was also juicy and the potatoes were nicely seasoned. The pizza was average, but honestly, you don't come to a buffet like this to eat pizza. I would recommend skipping the sushi because it's never good at a buffet. I decided to go back and try some more dishes from the Asian station. I was surprised to see that they only had Kung Pao tofu, no beef and no chicken dishes, which was a bit strange. The fried rice and the noodles were okay. I'm not a tofu person, but this tofu was actually pretty flavorful. I just wished it was chicken. But if you love tofu, you would have loved this. The crab legs were probably the biggest disappointment. They were very thin and didn't have much meat inside. I also tried the tortellini and it was pretty good. Wicked Spoon has a large dessert section with cookies, cakes, pastries, and even ice cream that is made in-house. So naturally, I grabbed quite a few things to try. Most of the desserts were good. My favorites were the tiramisu, the lemon tart, and the creme brulee. The creme brulee even still had a crisp sugar crust on top, which is impressive for a buffet because that crust usually starts becoming soft after it sits out. But surprisingly, I think my favorite dessert was actually the in-house made ice cream. Overall, there were a few disappointing items, especially the crab legs, but most of the food I tried was fresh, flavorful, and properly seasoned. That is what continues to separate Wicked Spoon from some of the other MGM buffets I've visited, and I would honestly be sad to see it go away. So was the Cosmopolitan Wraparound Terrace Suite worth $250? At that price, absolutely. This suite is large, the bathrooms are beautiful, and the Wraparound Terrace has one of the best views you can get from a Las Vegas hotel room. However, the room is clearly showing its age. The broken television, broken remote, loose light switches, and general wear and tear are not things you expect to find in a luxury suite. As for the food, I would probably skip Secret Pizza next time, but I would still return to Wicked Spoon. I don't think the buffet is quite as impressive as it was several years ago, but the selection is still good, most of the food is flavorful, and it remains one of the best buffet options on the Strip. So would you stay in the Cosmopolitan Wraparound Terrace Suite? And do you think Secret Pizza deserves all the hype? Let me know in the comments. Check out my full review of the Cosmopolitan Hotel in this video, and if you would like to see another luxury hotel review, check out this video of the Bellagio Hotel. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!